Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's Just Two Movies.
Hey, welcome back. First episode back from the break. This is It's Just Two Movies. My name is Daniel King. With me in the studio today is Birdman.
Caw.
Okay. And if you've never listened to the show before, what we do is we talk about two movies, a good one, a bad one. They have something in common, and we just, have some beers and have some cut-ups. How you been, Birdman?
Good, man. I'm excited to be back.
Anything new and exciting going on?
Oh, not really, bro.
Yeah.
Same old, just living.
Yeah.
Living life. It's all good, though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we'll save the other pleasantries for...
We'll get into the, what you've been doing, what you've been watching.
What you
looking at. We'll get into that later.
Well, what you clicking on?
Right.
All right. So I picked a movie this week. We went with Snatch. Snatch is a 2000 crime
porno
comedy
film. I'm just kidding.
right. So it definitely seems like it would be. If you're not familiar with Snatch, Snatch is a 2000 January 19th release. It is a crime comedy, hour 42 runtime, 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb, 74% Rotten Tomatoes, 55% on Meta. Directed by Guy Ritchie.
Wait, Meta is a different thing now, so...
Oh, Metacritic. Yeah, I'll have to be more specific now.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to flop.
Right.
It's going to be very exciting stuff. It's going to be like Quibi. Do you remember Quibi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely.
It'll be like Quibi. It'll be the Quibi of Zuckerberg's
career.
career.
How Quibi... A lot of the episodes were like 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how long Quibi lasted.
That's almost
About
right.
8 minutes.
I thought about getting it just to see what was on there because I heard somebody say the Golden Arm series was good.
Wasn't it free or did you?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't really care, to be honest with you.
But that's the thing is like you can.
I don't want to watch movies in portrait mode.
Well, you don't want to only be restricted to watching something on your phone. Like it's cool that you can watch things on your phone.
Yeah.
But that was the.
You
can only watch it on your phone.
That's not the primary viewing situation for most people or any people.
Right.
Anyway, music by John Murphy. This had a budget of $10 million. Do you happen to have the box office?
So worldwide, this, I don't know about like, the opening weekend or whatever, but worldwide gross, this made $83 million.
Okay, so pretty.
That's a lot of fucking money
good. Yeah,
for what they spent on it.
Yeah, yeah. 8 times as much money. What they spent
one could say.
Yeah. So one thing you might notice about this movie, if you are to give it a Google, is the incredible cast. Brad Pitt, Jason Statham, Benicio del Toro, Vinnie Jones, Stephen Graham, Alan Ford, Jason Fleming, Dennis Farina, Robbie G. Raid Serbedzga. It's the most interesting man in the world from that Dos Equis commercial.
Is it?
Yeah. Lenny James, Andy Beckwith, and there's a handful of other people in there, but those are your big guys.
The big boys.
The big boys. Is that the most interesting man in the world? Let me fact check myself. The most interesting man in the world.
I think it is.
According to Wikipedia, the most interesting man in the world was an advertising campaign for Dos Equis beer.
Who is the
actor?
Did you pronounce that Raid? Serbedzija?
I have no idea. It says Jonathan Goldsmith.
Serbedzija?
Oh, yeah. Different guy. Wow, they look really similar.
They do, because like you said it, and I was like, really?
You're like, so that's definitely him.
I was like, that looks... that's crazy.
That's going to be a meme. I'm getting a picture of those two guys and putting it next to each other. Which one is the light mode and which one's dark mode? Okay. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's amazing cast.
Oh, yeah.
So before we really get into it, were you like, this movie sucked?
No, but I went into this convinced that it was not going to be good. I don't know why.
It seems very much like an Italian Job.
Yeah.
Or something of that era.
But I was pleasantly surprised at how well this held up. Yeah, I don't know why. There are a couple things that I didn't enjoy, but it doesn't take take away a whole lot from the film. Do you think it holds up?
I think it holds up. It's got a lot of snappy dialogue, man.
Yeah, it's super funny.
Yeah, snappy combos and little quips and clapbacks and shit like that. That makes for fun.
Yeah,
as long as it's related to the story, but all of the characters that are in it are funny for different reasons. Yeah, like Bricktop's funny. Why is he funny? Because he takes everything to 11.
Right.
He's just like, I'm not going to slap you. I'll cut your fucking dick off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's just...
he's that guy.
That's what's silly about him.
Did you watch this around the time it came out, or do you remember?
I think this was I watched it maybe a year or two after it come out.
I was going to say, I think I've seen it one time before this, and I think it was 3 or 4 years after it came out.
Yeah, and I probably the last time I watched it was probably 12 years ago. Maybe it's been a long time.
That's very specific. You have a very good memory.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's my child. I'm before or after my child was born.
It's a lot of you gauge a lot of things by that.
I can benchmark that pretty well by how big she was in my recollection.
Do you own Snatch, or did you watch it on Netflix?
I own it, but I also watched it on Netflix because I'm I don't want to dick with a DVD player.
just throw it on and stream it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I just watched it on Netflix. But
it's cool it's on there. So what would you tell the folks that this is about?
This is your classic heist film involving a diamond and a side story that deals with boxing.
There are no booby traps in this movie, but something about this feels very Home Alone to me. You know what I mean?
Really?
Bits of it are almost cartoonishly hilarious.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Everybody's kind of just dumb. You know what I mean?
Even the slickest motherfucker there winds up making a dumb mistake or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of silly. It's fun. It's breezy. I think what I like about this film is that there are no. It's not like it's a heist film, but there are really no cops involved until the last 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not like a typical cops and robbers kind of heist film.
It's just bad guys and more bad guys and more bad guys.
Right.
They're just all a bunch of bad guys. Sleaze bags,
for the most
really.
part, yeah. I mean, I guess Jason Statham and his partner aren't necessarily bad guys. They just get kind of caught up in it or whatever. But... They
do, yeah. I mean, they're fight promoters in underground bare knuckle boxing, so they are kind of sleaze bags because they're they're procuring an illegal product kind of thing. So that makes them sleazy,
right?
But because they do that, they have to do all this other shit too and deal with all these other scumbags.
So those are the first two guys we meet. Is Jason Statham's character Turkish, and then we meet his partner Tommy, played by Stephen Graham, who is a phenomenal actor. What do you when you think of Stephen Graham? What comes to mind for you?
Man, since I just watched it, and kind of the whole time, I just want to not slap him, but just be oh God, man, come on. I feel Turkish when he's oh no, before the Germans get here, Tommy. He's just always talking shit to him. There's he sucks, man. He sucks. I want to like him. I want to slap him. No, no, I like the role, but that's what I like. He's very convincing. He's he's got just a real slappable face. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So anytime I think of Stephen Graham, I think of Boardwalk Empire.
I've never seen Boardwalk Empire.
It's pretty good. I think it's really good. He played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, nice.
He's fantastic. Man.
Yeah, yeah.
A great performance by him.
I bet that was good.
But yeah, we meet Turkish and we meet Tommy. Like you said, they're boxing promoters. And Turkish, he mentions something about not knowing anything about diamonds.
Right.
And you're like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
You're a boxing promoter. Why would you?
Right. Seems like a weird thing.
And then, pretty much right away, I'm just going to lay out a lot of what this is about, I think. Some guys dressed as Jewish men. Mm-hmm. I think it's 4 or 5.
Hasidic Jews. There's four guys. I mean, one of them's got a big fat belly, and they're wearing the traditional regalia uniform. The thing that they wear, I don't know what it's called. They've got the yarmulke and the sideburn curls and the whole 9 yards. Big beards.
Yeah, they're dressing up as Orthodox Jewish gentlemen. They in Antwerp, right? Yeah,
yeah,
Antwerp. They steal an 86 karat diamond.
Big fucker.
Big fucker. Big old fucker.
Big old fucker.
And then one of the guys, played by Benicio del Toro, Frankie, I love this name, Frankie Four Fingers. Why do they call him Frankie Four Fingers?
Because he's got 4 fucking fingers. I have a problem with gambling, Frankie fucking Four Fingers.
Yeah, so he's got a gambling problem. He goes to London to see diamond dealer Doug the Head.
Right.
On behalf of a New York jeweler, cousin Avi.
Right. Avi lives in New York.
Yes. He's going on his behalf. One of the other robbers.
Avi, by the way, played by Dennis Farina.
Yeah, thank you.
Who's, man, he's so great in this.
Yeah. What else is, I'm trying to think of other stuff. I mean, I know that he's in a lot of films.
Oh, yeah.
Was he in Get Shorty?
Ooh, he very well might have been. Would you like me to look it up?
I'd like you to look that up.
Okay, let's see here. Might have to do Get Shorty on the show someday. I remember quite liking it, but he is.
Same, yeah. I thought he was, yeah.
So is Delroy Lindo. Nice.
So just after they steal this diamond, one of the other robbers, he advises Frankie Four Fingers to obtain a gun from his brother, an arms dealer known as the Blade.
Boris the Blade.
Boris the Blade.
And this is the guy who's not the most interesting man in the world, but he looks exactly like him. Yeah. Dead fucking ringer.
But then later, this guy calls his brother Boris and encourages him to steal the diamond from Frankie. So this kind of sets up...
Yeah, because it's 84 carats and it's like twice the size of a peach pit. It's humongous. Yeah.
This kind of sets up the whole movie right there. Mm-hmm. Like I kind of chunked that into one little bit there that sets everything up. Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth. We're going to go through a little bit of it.
Some of it we're just going to have to glance over because there's so many stories running side by side that it would make it hard to orally translate to you exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, what's going on.
Some of it I chunked together. Like you said, we're not going to go through all of it.
Right.
It is a really good story though. Like I just had such a good time with it. Like I said, I went into it not expecting to enjoy it as much.
Mm-hmm. And it just charmed you.
Yeah, huh? For sure.
Yeah, it's very funny. What did you think about before we dig into it? What did you think of Brad Pitt in this?
So
it's one of my top 3 favorite Brad Pitt roles.
So I read a little tidbit that Brad Pitt was originally he was reluctant to do this film because he had just done Fight Club, where he played a boxer,
right?
And he was like, I really don't want to.
It's a little Fight Clubby.
He's like, I really don't want to play the same role, but he really wanted to work with Guy Ritchie, so he eventually just said, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
This performance from him is fucking amazing.
I'm glad they got him.
I
don't know who else. Is there anybody else you think could have pulled that off with the right pizzazz that he's got for it?
No, I think it's just him. You know what I mean? Like that role that's for him.
Of course they cast Brad Pitt because
I wonder if that had to have been Guy Ritchie's first choice. You know what I mean? Like, that's my guy. That's why I want to do this. He plays it so well. He plays an Irishman that you can't fucking understand.
He's a Irish, like a gypsy.
Yes.
But they call them pikeys.
Yes.
So
they're not. Was it once one of the guys said he's like they're not quite Englishmen, not quite Irishmen. Somewhere in the middle there. They're just fucking pikeys.
Yeah. And he goes to talk to me, this guy, yeah, fucking dog it is. Yes, and you honestly you can't understand a good portion of what he says because he's going so fast.
But that's the point of it.
Yeah.
Which I also read the reason they did this is because they got a lot of flack from not they, but the director, Guy Ritchie, got a lot of flack from Lock, Stock, and
Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Critics kind of talk shit about it because they said you can't really understand a lot of the dialogue.
Gotcha.
So he kind of
cranked it up.
Yeah, he kind of fucked with them a little bit and said, "Well,
doesn't really matter. You get this, don't you? Yeah. You get the exchange. You get what's happening."
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. That's probably enough fluff on it. But when you've got the Hasidic Jew guys and they're getting off the elevator and they're like, "Boom, baby, this is a robbery." Mm-hmm. And it's Benicio del Toro and the boys getting the job. I was like, oh, yeah, nice.
Did a lot of this come, did you remember anything? Or was it just
I remembered little snippets.
Yeah.
I remembered the bit where Bricktop that guy's like, hey, thanks for the fucking tip. And he grabs him by the balls and he's like, you stop me while I'm walking again and I will cut your fucking Jacobs off. Do you understand me? Like that. I remembered that. And I remembered Statham was in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Brad Pitt going, fuck it, I do fight for free. Like, that's it.
Right.
So, this was almost like a fresh watch for me.
And it was fun. So after the heist bit, we meet crime boss Bricktop, who you just mentioned.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing.
Okay.
I like almost all of the camera work in this, but during that robbery scene, I was like, oof.
I did not like it. Right. That's one of the things
that one right there. I was like, weird 2000 like whip pan multi-frame in shot or whatever.
I kind of hated it.
Yeah, same. I remembered thinking like when I first watched this though that was like cool and edgy and kind of like comic booky, and it still kind of is, but it's like it's nauseating. It's not good.
It doesn't work. But I'm also glad that that's the only time they did it, right?
Right.
There are some other...
They do a little bit of that kind of stuff in the rest of the movie, but it's much more smooth.
It's a lot more smooth, and it's just maybe a little bit more subtle.
It looks refined.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
I'm glad you brought that up, because...
Yeah. Before we get into any of the other story stuff, though, I also wanted to say that I really dig the intro.
Yeah.
Where it's introducing all the characters and doing the freeze frame like newspaper print look to it.
I like that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That works well, yeah. Yeah, like I said, we meet crime boss Bricktop.
Mm-hmm.
What a name. Bricktop.
Right.
What do you think?
They're English, so there's no way to know. There's no way to know.
Unless we probably looked it up, then it would probably tell us.
Played by Alan Ford, which is just a fucking scary, creepy looking...
Yeah, he's
mobster that will kill anybody. Looks like.
Yeah, he is scary, but he's almost got like a I don't know how to explain him. You just have to watch it. He's just a character. He's got
like, some magnetism to him. You know what I mean? You're like, what's this guy about?
Right.
You know? You just kind of want to know what's going on with him.
And they say in the beginning, this is a guy you don't want to cross. You know. I think Jason Statham, he kind of talks about that a little bit. But Bricktop kind of runs like the boxing, maybe not runs it, but he's a big name in the underground boxing setup.
Yeah.
And
sorry,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was going to say.
You go ahead.
Are we reaching for the? We're reaching for the last grape. We can share it. You start at one end because it's a grape. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Anyway, so Turkish, named after a plane crash, and Tommy, his BFF, they have a fighter, great fighter named Gorgeous George.
Gorgeous George.
Oh, look at the size of that fucker.
Yeah, so they have their fighter, and Bricktop wants to set up a match between his guy and Gorgeous George.
And he wants Turkish to make Gorgeous George take a dive.
Yeah, he wants him to go down in the fourth.
Which they agreed to, because they do not want to be cut up into 6 pieces and fed to pigs.
Right.
Yeah, which they talk about at length later. And,
yeah. I'll comment on that later. It's like, so good. Fucking Frankie Four Fingers. When he's getting fitted for the suits.
I love it.
I love this scene.
Every take he's in a different outfit.
Every take he's in a different suit. I was like, oh shit. Okay. And then there's one take where he doesn't have any pants on.
Yeah, he's like, okay, Abby. I'll be seeing you, Abby. Just is not wearing any pants at all, smoking a cigar.
Yeah, he's supposed to take this diamond that he stole to New York City from London. Like we mentioned earlier, he loves to gamble. So he kind of gets into this... He kind of gets into a little bit of a pickle with Boris.
I wonder what his accent is in this.
Yeah.
Like, what is Frankie Four Fingers' accent? Everybody else I can peg.
Right. With him, it's like, a little different.
It's like maybe a little French or something like that.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, he does. He's got a weird, maybe it's just a mannerism thing. I don't fucking know. Anyway. It's Benicio del Toro is a delight in this. Yeah. I like when in the movies you get a Benicio del Toro And let him have a little levity, because he's a funny guy.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, he's just a funny, silly goose.
And this is a little different role for him.
Mm-hmm.
A little lighter. Because he's not a badass. He's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some...
Oh, yeah.
He's got issues.
Yeah, definitely.
But like I said, he gets kind of mixed in with Boris. Boris gives him a gun for free as long as Frankie makes a bet. I believe in Boris's...
on Boris's behalf.
On Boris's behalf.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. So that kind of ties him in there.
Yep. So they got a gambling addict to take a huge bet for an arms dealer who's expecting a diamond from the gambler, who is going to give it to Doug the Head, who's the diamond dealer, who's going to give it to Avi, who's the hustler guy that lives in New York.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of a lot. Like I said, there's you got to pay attention. I mean,
there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of back and forth. I think it works though.
I think it works. I think it's a beautiful pace for something like this.
For like those, you have two plots kind of,
mm-hmm.
or like a, but the way they intertwine, I think
there's like an A, B, C, and D story, and they all come together.
Right. The way they come together is just fantastic.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
We meet Brad Pitt's character, who we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we meet him. He sells Turkish. He sells Turkish a busted up caravan.
Right.
I love this.
Which is like a pull behind, like a pop up camper.
Yeah, they call it.
Yeah, they call it a caravan.
Right. Yeah.
Brad Pitt plays Mickey O'Neill. I forgot they named him. Yeah. I was like, is he just the Pikey? Mickey O'Neill.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, he sells him a busted up fucking caravan.
Throws in a free dog.
Those fucking Pikeys love their dogs.
They always throw dogs into deals.
So they're pissed off, obviously. They just got fucked with a bunch of money. And Brad Pitt, his character's like, we'll fight. We'll fucking have a little fight for it.
I'll fight you for it. Like, look at the size of this fucker. Ma, come look at the size of this boy. And at first, the guy gets out of the car, and they all like fisticuff up. They're like, fuck me. At first, Gorgeous George is fucking huge.
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
He's a big old boy. And at first, Pitt's character is getting his fucking ass kicked.
Oh yeah,
that's just a part of his.
He's stretching.
He's just got to stretch.
Yeah, he knocks back in that thing, and he's like popping his knees. He's like, "All right, lads, throw me up." They toss him up or whatever. He takes a couple more hits and a couple more tumbles, and then old Gorgeous George is like, "Come on, let's fight." And Brad Pitt's like, "Goosh," just one
and done,
one
baby.
Pop right in the sweet spot, knock him out cold.
Yeah. So Turkish gets Pitt's character to fight for him if they buy his ma. His ma. Who?
What
did they say? His ma.
His ma. The guys all talk in unison all the time.
Yeah.
I love it. Him and like all his buddies.
His lackeys or whatever.
So many windbreakers. The wind didn't stand a chance.
Irish gypsies.
Yeah.
What a setup they had.
When the first time Turkish rolls up, Mickey's taking a shit behind a... just behind a car.
Yes, I forgot about that.
This giant campground, they pull up and he's just taking a shit.
They're looking for him and he's just... I wasn't sure if he was taking a shit or if he was just hiding.
Oh no, he's taking a shit because he stands up and he's pulling his britches up.
His breeches.
That's right, I said britches.
His breeches.
I thought about the other day. Da Vinci's... He must have been a redneck.
Da Vinci?
Or it'd be The Last Dinner. You know what I mean? I just imagine Jesus be like, "Gather round ye, it's supper. Supper time. Time for supper, y'all." I'll cut all that out.
Right. No.
A little tidbit for you.
Let's just remember where we are. I have to pee so bad.
Pee so bad. Where are we? So.
Oh. What are you doing later? What are you?
It's the last.
Is that the last noodle?
The last original flavored Ruffles potato chip.
All right, Turkish. He informs Bricktop that he's got to fucking switch fighters.
Look, man, sorry, bro.
His fighter,
Curious George, he got his
fucking
he ain't gorgeous no more. He ain't curious no more either because he fucked around and found out.
At first, Bricktop's like, no, fuck that. But then he agrees. And it's the same deal. You got to throw the fight in the 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
He goes down in the 4th.
Say it.
Say it.
Cut your fucking Jacobs off.
That's
not bad.
Cut your fucking Jacobs off.
And I do mean it. This time. You understand me, don't you, Turkish?
Meanwhile, Avi, I think it's Avi, he learns that his partner, Four Fingers, is betting on the fight. So he's like, oh, fuck. He knows he has a gambling problem.
He's talking to his brother, Doug the Head. He's like, you told him where there's a fucking fight? He's like, I'm fucking coming. And he like, it does a whip pan where he's on a plane.
I
like,
love this.
Just taking a shot. And he puts the shot down, the plane stops, and then he's like, sit down. And Doug the Head's like, Avi,
what's going on?
He's like, sit down and shut the fuck up. You're going to help me find Frankie Four Fingers right fucking now.
But I love that that short sequence of, from New York to London. It's 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But I love how they do it.
It's got that like Edgar Wright feel. Those whip pans, man. I love that. That's a in-camera effect I learned from a previous episode of the show, actually. A lot of fun. I really like it.
Yeah,
So it's got a cool look to it.
It works really well in this film. They do it a few times, but I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like how they do it. As we said, Abby goes to London. He fucking hates London, by the way. He wants a beach.
He does hate London.
He wants a beach. He doesn't want dreary-ass London.
Yeah, he's like, we got beaches? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. God, he plays this role so well, man.
All right, if God, what's his name?
Dennis Farina?
No.
Oh.
I would get Dennis Farina to play J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU if it wasn't already J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Because J.K. Simmons is perfect.
No,
but
yeah, he
in
is.
a world where J.K. Simmons wasn't an option,
Dennis
Farina all day. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good observation. I like that.
But he'd have to be foul-mouthed.
Right.
Spider-Man, what a fucking piece of shit.
Going back to Boris, he hires Vinny and Saul, two other gentlemen that are they kind of run like a...
They run a pawn shop.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Or like we buy gold.
Right. He hires those guys to steal the diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And they...
They enlist the help of their friend Tyrone,
yes.
Who's got to be 450 pounds if he's a pound.
He's a big dude. They hire him as the
massive,
and he is the getaway driver.
This whole movie really is about Tyrone narrowly escaping death a million times. Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Oh man, I just love the irony of hiring him as the getaway driver. He can't drive worth a fuck.
He takes forever to get out of the car.
Yeah.
And he tells his buddy, he's like, what the fuck can he get away from? Like, look at it. Very funny.
They have a hell of a time at the bookies.
Oh,
when they go to the bookies, like he's driving them there. They're trying to rob this bookie, which is, I think it's Bricktop's spot, isn't it?
I don't know whose spot it is.
I think it's Bricktop's, yeah.
But the girl running the bookie office is gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really fucking good.
2 minutes she's in this movie.
I wonder if I can find her.
We need to find out who that is.
Is it Tina Collins? Tina Collins in Snatch. Oh, no, those are twins, those are Doug the Head's twins.
Yeah.
I love all the little jokes in this thing, though. There's like just his twin girls that speak in unison. You know what I mean? Like that's a gag.
Because
it's funny
twins.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find out who that girl was. Was her name Pauline in the movie? I don't know that they ever said.
I don't know, man, but she was very charming.
Yeah.
And very funny.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm sorry, all bets are off. And she points at the whiteboard behind her, and it just says all bets are off, and everything's like zeroed out. Lenny James like cocks a shotgun and puts it in her face, and he's like, I ain't buying it. And she's like, well, that's handy because I ain't fucking selling it. It's a fact. Like, she's great. No, the whole robbery thing was great. She puts up the emergency, the emergency blast doors or whatever.
They are not good criminals.
No,
they fucking suck at
they're
this.
Terrible. Doesn't one of them get shot, doesn't he?
One of them gets shot.
Yeah.
By the other, I think.
Yeah.
Or was it by her?
No.
I think
it wasn't by her. They're like trying to shoot their way out of the plate, but it's bulletproof, so it's just ricocheting around the thing.
But I love how Tyrone just walks in.
Yeah, and he's like, "Fuck are you guys doing?" Because they're locked in.
Yeah.
And he just opens the door. He's like, "Fucking come on.
Let's go, guys."
Right. They somehow miraculously get away, but they get like a bag of pennies. Pretty much is what they get from the bookies.
But it's funny because like when Tyrone is driving, he backs the car into a van, and Frankie Four Fingers happens to be in that van.
Yep.
So he kind of Tyrone kind of saves the day as he's driving away. He sees Frankie exit the van. He's like, "Oh fuck!" So they grab him.
Yeah.
But his briefcase is tied to his, or like handcuffed to his hand.
So that's what they're doing, though. Those guys were staking it out, looking for Frankie Four Fingers. A different guy went in. They thought it was him. They went to rob him. It wasn't him.
Right.
Tyrone backs into the van. Frankie Four Fingers is knocked unconscious in the van. Comes to as they're pulling away, and then he gets out, but he's a little disoriented. So Tyrone hits him and gets out and grabs him, puts him in the car, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "It's a man with 4 fingers with a briefcase attached to his hand." And they're like, so Tyrone saves the day. Twice.
Good hire, Tyrone.
Right. Way to beat Tyrone.
Oh, man. So we get to the fight, I think. Pitt's character, Mickey, he knocks out Madman. Madman is Brick's, his fighter.
Yeah.
He knocks him out in one.
One fucking punch, baby.
And Bricktop ain't too happy about this.
He's not happy about it. This is something he would normally murder somebody over and feed them to his pigs.
Right.
So he goes back to Turkish's house. He's got guys waiting there. And he's like, "I know you just came back here to open up your safe. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna do this again. You guys gonna go down in the 4th again. And he is going to do it this time. You understand? You follow what I'm saying? I'm very serious.
You're gonna fucking die.
I will kill you."
I love the scene where Turk he goes back to Pitt's, like they're the gypsy hideout or whatever. The way they live.
Dude, the kids are trying to pickpocket everybody.
Oh, man, it's so good, dude.
But he can't find him. He's not there.
Right.
He's like, "Hey, where do I find Mickey?" He's talking to Ma. She's like, "Don't you get my Mickey. Mickey's happening in trouble, boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, I tell you, he's out. What do they call it?
Oh, he's, what did they call it? Where you, like...
He's out.
Where the dogs hunt the...
Not tracking. Fuck, man. I don't think I wrote it down either. They got a cool name for it. But anyway, it's like a light version of dog fighting because there's no dogs fighting. You release a dog and a jackrabbit at the same time. 2 dogs and a jackrabbit. And then you bet on if the dogs catch the rabbit or if the rabbit gets away. So they bet odds on it.
No, damn it. I thought I wrote down what they called it. But yeah, like you said, they bet odds on it. I love this scene, though, because it ties in with Tyrone when Tyrone is being chased.
Well, if I can add any confusion to it, I did miss a thing from the beginning. Not the beginning, but there's a bit where they're talking about when Mickey's like, "Ah, me ma," and they're like, "Who?" And they're passing around the picture of her. It shows the picture of his ma. She's wearing a dress in front of a window, and her dress is the drapes, like it's all the same fabric. Like it's just one picture of the same fabric plus her face in it.
I didn't catch that.
It's silly. It's a silly little hat tip. Like, okay, everything's made out of this. They got one roll of fabric and just made all this shit out of it. Which is very resourceful. Don't get me wrong. You use what you got.
Oh, yeah. So through Tyrone, Bricktop's boys, they kind of find out what's going on. So they start chasing Bricktop for information. They start chasing Tyrone for information, but while that's going on, you've got the dog and the hare scene, so that kind of ties in,
right?
Like
with
you've got
Tyrone's the hare, maybe
exactly.
But it's two sides of the coin, man. Because Tyrone escapes with his life, just getting scared of dogs.
Right.
And then,
but I like how they did that though. That tie in.
Oh yeah, it just kind of ratcheted up on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
I thought that was delightful stuff. You've got Frankie Four Fingers, who's unconscious. Now I guess conscious, but his head's in a bag. They've got him tied up at the back of the pawn shop.
Mm-hmm.
Boris the Blade shows up, They have an argument about it. And the guy's like, fucking fuck you, Boris. And then he walks in the other room, and Boris shoots Frankie Four Fingers in the head because he couldn't know his name.
Yeah.
And he decides to take the briefcase because they tell him the diamond's in the briefcase. So he cuts off Frankie Four Fingers' arm. But I love the way Boris the Blade just carries a giant fucking butcher cleaver in a sheath on his belt, like at all times. He's just always got it on him.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see Four Fingers go that early.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, okay. I kind of forgot about that. Just because I love Del Toro and I wanted to see more of him in this. But
a more silly Del Toro, you know what I mean?
But yeah, he gone.
Yeah, he gone. So, I mean, it's at this point in the movie where we can go over whatever you want, but this shit just like continues to escalate one beat after another from here on out.
Yeah.
It just is constantly raising the stakes and shit gets more and more complicated as it goes.
Right. It kind of goes on for a bit. As we were talking about earlier, Tyrone, he kind of gives up the gig, and Bricktop finds the two guys he's working with, Vinny and Saul. Bricktop tells those guys, you got 48 hours. He kind of spares them a little bit. You got 48 hours to find this diamond.
Yup.
Or you're done.
Yeah, I'll fucking kill you.
Meanwhile, cousin Avi hires Bullet Tooth.
Right. Bullet Tooth Tony.
Yeah, Bullet Tooth Tony.
Everybody's got sweet rhyming names in this.
He wants him to find Frankie.
Yeah.
The way Tony, Bullet Tooth Tony gets info.
Tenderloin Tony.
Yeah, Tenderloin Tony. The way he gets info on Vinny and Saul fucking cracks me up, dude. He traps this guy in his window.
Right.
Of his car.
Yeah.
And just starts driving.
Yep.
Like, he's got the
with
guy.
With his head in the window.
His head is in the window.
He's got him by the necktie.
And he just starts driving.
Yep.
Psychopath.
How fast would you talk?
Pretty fucking quick, man.
Instantly, man. If I couldn't break that window, I'd be like, whew.
But cousin Avi cracks me up. He's like, this is pretty good. He's just, he's calm as a cucucber. He's like, this is a pretty good method.
Yeah, he's from New York. He's loving it. What are you kidding me? I'm walking here.
You want a fucking hot dog? Go fuck yourself.
Hey, we get a dog after this.
Bricktop. All right.
I don't like leaving my own damn country, and when I do, I don't like leaving it for any place with sandy beaches and little umbrellas in the drink. Yeah. Fucking Doug the Head's like, we have beaches here. Who the fuck cares?
Fuck just you, beaches.
Doesn't give a shit.
This is kind of a bummer moment. Bricktop, he burns Brad Pitt's character. He burns his mom's caravan while his mom is in the caravan.
Oh yeah,
he burns it up. So
it's a murder.
Yeah, and obviously, Brad Pitt, Mickey is he's furious.
He's not an idiot.
There's like 3 to 5 minutes of his friends trying to hold him back, where he's trying to run into a burning caravan.
Right. Right. I mean, man, honestly, you might be able to just run through it. Like, if you knew where mom's at, maybe you could just, like, take one dive and, like, go in one end, grab her, and just fall out the other end.
I don't know, man.
How sturdy do you think those walls are?
Not sturdy at all.
Especially if it's on fire. You think you could just go right through it?
Maybe. Write us, and it's just... If you know anything about...
You cut me off. No, go ahead. Throw it out there. Finish it.
Finish the job. If you know anything about caravans and how easily they catch fire, and if you could jump through those walls of the caravan while it's on fire...
Even a Dodge Caravan.
Write us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com.
Or find us on other social media platforms at It's Just Two Movies.
Thank you. Please and thank you.
And we're on a Facebook now. We're on Facebook.
Oh, shit.
And we're on YouTube. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, leave a like if you could. I sure would appreciate it.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate it. Like and follow. Or, you don't have to follow. This is kind of creepy. Like, personally. I'm not up to much. I wouldn't be interesting to follow.
Right.
You can come on the show, though, if you're following me. Do you want to do the show? Like, you're already here, then.
Easy, Danny.
Yeah, let's take it easy.
Let's take it down.
I'll dial it back a little bit.
So, okay, where are we at? Where are we at this point? Boris shows up at the pawn shop. The heads.
Doug the Head.
He shows up at his shop with the diamond, and he's apprehended by Avi and crew.
They also call him Boris the Bullet Dodger.
Boris the Bullet Dodger. Why did they call him? What was the... Do you remember the reasoning for that?
Because he fucking dodges bullets, man. He's impossible to kill. Which comes at shortly after where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we skip the... Yeah, I think we did. So there was a scene with Bricktop, and I fucking love this scene, where he's talking about how to get rid of a body.
Oh yeah, he's talking to the guys at the pawn shop.
Yeah.
And one of them, just a rando kind of guy that's
the
there.
pawn shop, their other
just
buddy,
another buddy that works at the pawn shop that wasn't in on most of this deal. He's like, Bricktop walks in, and the other two guys, Vinny and Saul, played by Robbie G and Lenny James, they're like, who the fuck is this fucking guy? Why is he just like strolling in here like he owns the place? Mm-hmm. And the other guy, the guy that just works at the pawn shop, he knows who Bricktop is. So he's immediately like fucking sweating bullets like, this is bad. So Bricktop walks in, and he's like, do any of you know who I am? And the one guy does. He shakes his head. Yes. He goes, great. That'll save me some time. And he just starts breaking down the easiest way to dispose of a body is to cut it into 6 pieces, remove the teeth and the hair, and feed it to pigs. And they'll what do you say? He's like 2 hours to get rid of a full grown.
You want to starve the pigs for
couple of days,
3 to 5,
20 pigs, do the job in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Dude, just the way that monologue.
He describes it very intimately, as though I do this shit all the time, and I am the best at it, so let me give you some tips, because nobody ever asks me, hey, Bricktop, how is it you get rid of all those bodies? Right. And I want to tell someone.
Yeah.
So let me share this knowledge with you, and it is creepy as fuck.
But it's such a good performance.
Right, and his big-ass, thick fucking Coke bottle, bubble-style glasses he wears and shit. It's a unique look at a mobster, like a really scary, fucking awful mobster.
Right.
You don't normally you wouldn't see a picture, just a still image of this guy and go, yeah, that guy's the mobster. Right. You wouldn't guess.
Yeah, and I like his progression in this film though, because at first I feel like I didn't take him as serious as I did. At that moment, right when you get that monologue, like, oh fuck, okay,
this guy's fucking a real bad guy.
This guy spends Tuesdays at the pig farm,
right?
Just
getting
fucking rid of bodies,
just pigging it. You know what I mean? Just
pigging a blanket,
just pigging it, just wallering in it.
Pig in the city,
loving it. Pig in the city, babe 2, piggy time.
Piggy time.
3 little pigs.
Get back to it.
The old pigskin. All right, so Vinnie Jones, he's hot on the trail of killing some motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Bricktop gives those guys some time to find the fucking diamond.
Yep. I think it's at this point where we get a lot of everyone's kind of meeting at the same points, right?
Right. Everybody who's not dead anyway.
And I like how they do this. It kind of starts with everyone's driving. They're driving to whatever their mission is. Tommy, he throws out some milk that Turkish is drinking.
Right.
And it hits Avi. It hits Avi's car. Causes them to crash.
Right.
Just like the way it sets everything up here is just really, really great. Almost like I don't know.
It's really playing with some kismet, a little bit of just chance and destiny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are the odds? Oh, they can be whatever you want when you're making the movie, I suppose. But
right.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Boris escapes the trunk, but then he's also hit by another car, which is Tyrone and company.
I like the way he's doing just like a chicken walk. You know what I mean? He's got his head in a bag and his hands are tied, and he just is like twitching and jerking and acting like he can look around. He's like just doing a chicken walk, man. It's hilarious.
But it's like part of me was like, is he trying to just like figure out what his next step is, where he's going?
I feel like he could probably just like flick his head and throw that bag right off, though.
It was tied at the neck. I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, Boris, he escapes the trunk, but he's hit by Tyrone. But somehow he's okay. Kind of, I guess.
Right.
He makes it into the bar. I like the scene with Bullet Tooth.
Well, Turkish, and hold on, in the meantime, so Boris, he fucking gets away, he runs off or whatever. And then Turkish and Tommy are going to Boris's house. And Tommy's like, that son of a bitch gave me a gun that wouldn't fucking fire, and I want a gun that works. He's like, I'm going to tell him. He's like, oh yeah, you fucking tell him, Tommy. We haven't really touched on all the amazing parts that Jason Statham has in this. Dude. He's so funny and like sharp-witted, and it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh yeah, you tell him when you see him. And they get ready to go knock on the door, and here he comes, but he's all like fucked up looking, and he's like mumbling and cursing to himself. He just pushes right past him, and he's like, oh yeah, you really told him, Tommy. He goes in the house, comes straight back out. He's just got a giant machine gun. He's like, me motherfucking son of a bitch. And he goes to the bar where Bullet Tooth Tony is, and where Saul and
Vinny.
Saul and Vinny are, and where who else is showing up there? Avi's there.
Avi, yep.
And is there someone else?
Tyrone.
And Tyrone. Yep. So they are all at the same restaurant.
Yes.
And then there's a great dialogue where Saul and Vinny
are trying
to hold up Bullet Tooth Tony
with fake guns,
with replica guns, and they're like, he's not gonna know, or what, whatever. They're we're two black dudes with guns, you know what I mean? Like he'll just cough it up.
Yeah.
And he like glances at the side of the guns and shit, and he's like, "Oh," gives this big dialogue about like how yours says, your gun says replica. Both of your guns say replica. You guys a piece of shit. Mine,
what mine says?
Says Desert Eagle 5.0,
0.50,
0.50, whatever. Things escalate quickly from here. Do they both get killed here? No, neither of them get killed.
No. So there's a scene where Bullet Tooth shoots like
they're all in the hallway.
Yeah, they're all in the hallway.
Fucking Boris the Blade comes in through the back door with his machine gun. He starts screaming at everybody because Saul and Vinny have guns on Avi.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking Boris the Blade is like, put your fucking guns down so I can kill Avi and you guys won't shoot me. I'll kill you too. Whatever. We'll kill everybody. But Bullet Tooth Tony... Bullet Tooth Tenderloin Tony, he's in the other room.
He yells out, doesn't he?
He's like, Avi, pull your socks up.
Pull your socks up. And everyone does except for
Boris the Blade.
Is it Boris?
Oh yeah, Boris the Blade gets shot.
I thought it was
Bullet Tooth Tony comes out, he looks at him, he like shoots him 2 or 3 more times. And then he's over there, he's getting ready to kill Tyrone. And then Boris the Blade keeps being like, and he just unloads 2 whole clips in him. And then finally he dies. That's why they call him Boris the Bullet Dodger. Like, oh, he's impossible to kill because he put 20 fucking rounds in him. And then he goes to fucking shoot Tyrone, and he's out of bullets. He's like, you lucky motherfucker.
Well, that's the thing is like, so there were 2 people that didn't, pull their socks up. It was Boris and Tyrone. So Tyrone did get shot, I think. He got wounded. Oh, did he? I think he got wounded, maybe. He didn't get killed. But, yeah.
Nice.
Vinny and Saul escape with the briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
Bullet Tooth, he catches back up with him. They tell him the diamonds at his place or at their place or whatever. They kind of try to buy some time.
Now, previously in the story, Vinny did a deal with a pikey, and a pikey threw in a dog. You didn't see this; it just happened off screen.
Right.
He just shows up with a dog, and Saul's like, "Where'd you get the dog?" He's like, "Oh, I got it." He's like, "Oh, fucking pikey's always throwing dogs in with deals."
Right.
So anyway, he's got a squeaky toy for this dog, and he's like, "Oh, don't snatch." The dog snatches the squeaky toy and eats it whole, so it's got like a squeaky tummy the whole time. Now this comes into play shortly because the diamond is exposed. And the dog eats it.
Yeah, that damn dog.
Grabs
the diamond, runs off.
But it's fight time right now.
Oh, yeah.
So almost another immediate KO. Like as soon as they ring the bell.
Yeah.
But the other guy gets back up. So he's like, he could have easily.
Oh, yeah,
he could have easily knocked him out.
But before this, I like this. Just before the fight. Mickey is fucked up. By the way, he's hungover,
super hungover,
and he just before the fight, he's like he's kind of coming to a little bit. I think he has a little bit of a drink or a smoke or whatever.
Yeah,
and he's like, Need to have a shite.
Just go
and then
take
he's
a
good
shit.
to go.
Yep. Let me go take a shit. It'll be fucking good to go, baby. So yeah, bare knuckle fight time. I think this is good use of those really aggressive camera angles and camera shots and slow motion and fast motion and all the stuff that they did for that in these fight scenes, especially this one. I think they look great.
It works really well, yeah, because this is the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're closing out the film. It needed that, yeah.
So they get to the fourth. The fight's still going. This is officially the longest fight in the movie.
These dudes are fucked up.
They are fucking beating the shit out of each other. And KO for Brad Pitt, baby.
Yeah,
Not that he's KO'd like he KO'd the other guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which he's not supposed to do.
No, he's not. So they're going to get killed. So they're walking outside. And whoop, the old pikey surprise. It was part of Brad Pitt's plan all along, baby. Yeah, you son of a bitch. I'm in. So yeah, they had guys that were like, Bricktop had guys that were going to set the pikey camp on fire, but they knew that was going to happen, so they like ambushed him and killed those guys. Nice rim job. And then they show up in the cars that Bricktop's guys were driving.
Yep.
And fucking kill Bricktop and his two henchmen guys.
Yeah.
Right there at the end. So the pikey, they're off scot-free. Turkish Tommy and Brad Pitt. So, anyway, Turkish and Tommy, they're looking for the pikeys the next day and they're all gone. And then the cops show up, obviously because of all the murders. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? Yeah. And he's like, oh, we're just walking the dag. And there's a dog. There's a dog over there.
It's the dog.
It's the dog of the day, the diamond. So they take the dog, and then it shows a couple days later or whatever. They take the diamond, or they don't have the diamond on their person, but they're talking to Doug the head.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, do you know anybody who could maybe procure this diamond? And he's like, yeah, I think I know a guy. And he calls Avi. And it does the same take scene of him getting on, like the whip pans of him getting on the plane again. And then that's...
But we got that one more time before this even. So Avi accidentally... So, sorry, just to go back a little bit. Avi accidentally shoots Tony, and then he just goes back to New York City.
Right? He's just like, I'm fucking out of here.
I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, oh man, that's fun.
Stamp the passport. Yeah, like you said, Turkish takes the diamond to the head, and he relays the message to Avi, who flies back to London for it.
So Turkish comes out on top, and pretty much everybody else except the pikeys died.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun flick, though, man. The dialogue's fun. The camera's it's ambitious and playful. Some of it's fucking amazing. There was a little bit of it that I really didn't care for. I thought the whole thing was scored fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. What I really like is some of the background actors, like Brad Pitt's homeboy with the long red curly hair.
Yeah.
That guy, little tiny details.
It's like
it's
a
red curly mullet. Yeah. It's great.
You wish you had it, So if you were going to rate
Can't pull it off. I'm not a ginger.
If you were going to rate this...
You just imagine me trying to do a mullet. Boom, baby.
If you had 10 thumbs...
Okay.
10 thumbs were made of 80s. If each thumb was 86, that's another thing, because it started out as 86 carats, but after it was in the dog, they said 84. Did it lose 2 carats?
I don't know how that works. I wouldn't think so.
Right?
That
might have been a goof.
I wouldn't think stomach acid in a dog would damage the hardest material on Earth.
Because I wrote that down. It started at 86, and they said 84 later in the movie. But anyways, if you had 10 thumbs...
Come on, Guy Ritchie.
And each thumb was an 86 carat diamond.
Okay.
How many of those thumbs would you give this movie?
Hard 9.
Hard 9?
Hard 9. There's some camera shit I don't love, but man, even on a revisit, this might have been a better candidate for summer break. But there's so much going on.
There's a lot going on.
I don't know if we could make this a 45-minute chunk. You know
I doubt
what I'm
it.
saying?
And we're probably running over for this.
That's fine.
It's fine.
No, we got 7 minutes of us farting around in the beginning.
Right. Yeah. I think I originally wanted to give this like an 8.5, but I think I'm going to go with you on the 9. The only thing this The only thing that kind of takes away a point or whatever, I didn't like some of the camera stuff, and I felt like some of the music didn't really vibe with some of the scenes. A lot of the music I really did like.
I get you. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And I was thinking that while I was watching, I'm like, there's a better choice for that. But then I thought I was like,
scene.
It is 2000 though. So was there a better choice for that? I don't know. Maybe there wasn't.
But a lot of the music I really did like. I was like, man, this is like, it just kind of fits.
Not bad. Yeah.
See, yeah, I completely agree. 9 out of 10.
All right. Yeah. Fucking
good stuff, man.
So yeah, I mean, that was a great, fun heist movie.
Yeah.
So what if there was like such a thing as a more mediocre version of this? Still plenty of fist fighting, but not in boxing match style, but also pepper in vampires. How do you feel about that?
I think I'm gonna go.
Yep. You gonna home?
Yep.
No, you can't go home. You can't go.
You're trapped here.
You're trapped here until we watch From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money, or Texas Mud Honey. There it is.
Texas Bud
Money.
Texas Mud Bunny.
Mud Bunny. Yeah. Texas Mud Bunny. So we're gonna go watch this weird thing. We will be back shortly. Here's a fake thing. I think this either might be a fresh ad or they might still be on replay.
Okay.
All right. This segment is called The Pitch Room. This is all the goofy ideas we come up while we're hammered drunk trying to think of fake ads. Some of them make it into fake ad commercials. Some of them don't. But either way, these are just like funny bits from us talking about it. So enjoy The Pitch Room.
People that test products, but there's like a bad boy of that.
How do we make that a thing?
Right. Yeah,
I get what you mean. Like, hey, I'm out here testing the new Invisalign toothbrush 3.0. And I'm just gonna do how we do. I'm gonna throw it off my motorcycle 6 times and see how it holds up compared to a Crest 1470. All right, my name's Trick Stevens. Trick Stevens. I'm about to test your patience.
I don't know.
Do a what?
Like you're at a UFC fight in the crowd. You know, like bros. Like...
Yeah. That's all right. They're just talking. They're just talking. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Chill out. Chill out. Chill out.
I meant.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got the.
I thought you were doing
I got the like 1997 Chicago Bulls theme song queued up.
What? Like specifically?
Mm-hmm.
What about a team of ear surgeons?
Oh, that sounds
that great. Only work on the outside of your ears.
Oh, is that fucking encore?
Oh shit!
You got any other gems while we're sitting here?
I don't know. I was just thinking about how weird it is that porn stars have their vaginas molded into vaginas that guys can fuck.
That is weird.
That's a weird thing.
That is a weird thing. It's weird how, like, I don't know, pig shit in the moonlight.
Suppose it does.
Does a hog swaller on Valentine's Day?
Well, I think you're right.
Is it a kind swine that sleeps till 9?
All right, let's do this Amore Zen ad.
What?
That ad I sent you, Amore Zen. Instead of Amazon, it's Amore Zen.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. You had another one too. What was your other one?
It was a late night murder mystery show where the person that was murdered was a piece of shit.
We gotta workshop that one. Spam Elliott, dude, he loves 2 things. He loves fucking freedom, and he loves... God, I just wanted to say a Big Mac.
What about, like, horses with hooves that are too tiny or something, like something silly, you know what I mean?
Horses with yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, it's horses. What do horses have that they're mistreated? Oh my god, butt ticks. Horses with butt ticks. Horses that have butt ticks on their assholes, like on their actual anus. That's, you know what I mean. Like on the actual pucker part, they got a tick right there. You can see it though. And then when they poop, you're like, I could grab it, but ew.
What was it? Horses with
butt ticks. Horses with ticks on their assholes. Buttholes, anuses. Say anuses, plural.
Like they have more than one.
Freedom and horses with ticks on their anuses. Because it's multiple horses,
yeah,
so it's multiple
I
anuses.
know.
But they got ticks.
Freedom.
Lean into it with the perfect partner for your chicken.
The perfect partner for your chicken.
Brief interjection from your program. I just wanted to throw out a couple of special thanks for the folks that make this show possible. Big thanks to Brad Sexton for our jams, Lamplighter Production for our artwork, Godsized Growing for some musical guest appearances, the Missouri T-Shirt Company, and Dave, who's our YouTube editor. We probably wouldn't even be on that platform were it not for him. If you want to check out anything any of these amazing people are working on, all of their links are in the description for this episode. If you want to contact the show, you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at It's Just Two Movies. We've got a Facebook page now, so that's on there. You can always leave us a comment on YouTube, or you can email us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com. Okay, yeah, and if you like the show, like, subscribe, leave us a review. That stuff helps tremendously. So anyway, back to the show. All right, we got to start this pig.
We got to fuck this pig.
We're gonna fuck this pig. What you want to do? What you want to do is you get like cattle guard fencing and you put the pig's head in one of the holes and it can't get out until you grease it, which you got to do that after. And then once you got its head in there, what you do is you get a box or a log that it can put its front feet on. And then, you just hold up the back end and there you go.
That's fucking sick, dude.
That's how you fuck a pig. But as far the movie we watched, From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money, The Quickening, Origins. Got a 4.1 out of 10 on IMDb, a whopping 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, but a very hearty helping of 3.4 out of 5 on Vudu. 72% of Google users like this movie. Initial release March 16th, 1999. Directed by Scott Spiegel. Music by Joseph Stanley Williams. Too bad, man. I don't have any budgetary information for this, but it does star Dwayne Whitaker, Robert Patrick, Danny Trejo, Muse Watson. I guess Tiffany Thiessen's in it.
For a minute.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell's in it also for a minute. Brett Harrison, Stacey Randall, Bo Hopkins, Raymond Cruz.
You're going
too far. It's Ramon Cruz.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm going too far. I wanted to say Ramon Cruz, though, because that's, Tuco from Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah. From Breaking Bad fame.
Yeah, he's in this also.
If you were to guess, just a wild guess on the budget for this, what do you think it was?
1.2 million?
No, you're a little low.
A little low? Is that a lot?
Not much more.
Just a little low. 5 million.
Yeah,
$5 million. Did it make
budget.
anything in the box office besides a couple of hard high fives?
So worldwide, it grossed $6,000.
That's about right for what's going on here. I got to tell you, man. In retrospect, this is a time capsule of ambition in some weird way.
Yeah.
Well, they took a very edgy Quentin Tarantino take on a horror film / bank heist, and they were like, let's ricochet off this and do a side story. Some of the camera work was pretty inventive. I don't know if it was good or well executed. they made an attempt, and I can see some promise in some of it where I'm like, well, that's actually quite cool. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I guess some of the camera work was a little original, I guess. I don't know. Was it though?
They're having I'm talking like the inside the mouth camera shot and stuff like that. Like that was edgy. They were trying.
They were trying something different.
They tried some stuff that was like, well, we'll see if we can pull this off.
Here's my question. What was the need for the opening scene?
Refresh my memory on what the opening scene was.
So the opening scene was Tiffany Amber Thiessen and Bruce Campbell in an elevator, and they got attacked by bats that the bats chew through the elevator wires.
Yes,
and kill those two people.
I guess the need for that scene was to be like, hey, we got Tiffany Amber Thiessen and Bruce Campbell for an afternoon.
Right.
Let's put them in the movie.
And then
they're here. We actually caught them having lunch across the street, and I gave them both $500, and they were like, "We're in, baby.
We're in, baby."
Young Bruce Campbell and Tiffany Amber Thiessen always looking great.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the only reason this scene exists is to show you the bats.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, check out these bats that attack people.
Yeah.
They're real scary.
So the bats, they've got all of the scenes where the bats are on the screen, they're looking very, like all of a sudden you switch to VHS. From streaming.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, can you pause this for a second?
Yeah. I'm going to pop in the VCR. I'm going to punch in the... Honey, what's the button on the TV for the VCR? That hard V, baby.
Honey, where'd you park the ice cream truck?
That's absolutely right. So when you're watching the VHS copy, depending on where you're at in the world, of this movie, there's a bit where I guess all of a sudden it's Betamax. It just looks bad when the bats are there. It's bad. There's a bit later where there's a practical bat puppet, and I like it. Not that it looks convincing, that it's very comical, and it does. Like it's scary. It's a creepy looking little thing. It doesn't look convincing as a real living organism, but it is creepy, and it's funny. I love a rubber puppet. You know what I mean? I love that shit.
It is very funny. That's the thing about this film, though.
It's having some laughs.
Is it though?
I think so.
Because I couldn't really tell if it was trying to be serious or if it was trying to have some laughs. Maybe a little bit of both.
I think that probably likely the mission here was we had the idea to make the spin-off of Tarantino's From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
We'll give him an executive director credit or whatever.
Right.
Executive producer credit on it. But he's not really involved. So we're doing our own thing here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to do first. Second, let's write a script for it. And at a certain point, they're like, well, WWTD, what would Tarantino do? So they go back and look at some of the works of Tarantino and how he's got little quippy, jabs, and they hang a lantern on a couple of things, which helps with the comedy aspect of it. But they're also still dirty and filthy at the same time. Like that bit when all those dudes are hanging out in a room watching a porno. Has that ever been, you ever done that? You ever go hang out with like three other buddies and watch a porno?
No.
Me neither.
That's the thing. Like no one does that. Well, I guess some people do.
I don't think, I'm sure some people, I'm sure that there are groups of people that are very much into that, but it's just never been a thing that I'm a part of. So while they're doing this hilarious bit of all these dudes watching this porno, they're having hilarious dialogue about it.
Right.
And the dialogue's great.
It's silly.
It makes it a good, fun time.
Yeah. So just to kind of, this film is about, it's just your classic heist movie, right? It's your classic bank heist movie.
Yep. A guy got a bunch of drug money. The drug money got seized. It went through the IRS and was being held at a bank or whoever.
Right.
But it's at a bank now, and the guy's like, it's already washed. It's all fucking government free. We just got to get in there and get it, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all clean. We just make away with it scot-free.
So we got to...
Which I don't think that's how any of that works, but...
Right.
You know,
like they just...
props for saying it, I guess. Like, this is what's happening. Okay, thanks, I'm on board.
They just put that money in a bank in
right.
Mexico?
Right, and all of a sudden it's not traceable because it's in a different building.
So old Robert Patrick, that's the actor's name, right? Yeah.
Oh, Bobby P.
Bobby P. Buck. His name is Buck in this. And Buck don't give no fuck.
No, he don't like to fuck. It's not the same Buck from that. What was Kill Bill?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my name's Buck and I like to fuck.
Buck's got to get a crew together, so he gets a ragtag bag, bunch of ball digging pieces of shit together.
Right. And Opie.
So you got Buck, you got Luther.
Yep.
You got C-Dub.
C-Dub.
You got Ray Bob. And you got
Jesus. Yes, sir.
So that's the crew.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to rob this bank.
Yes, sir.
And how's it go, Danny?
I'll tell you what, it's going to get done.
It's going to get done.
Ain't going to get done and you don't get to it.
At one point, you were like, how long before we see a
lowrider? How long before we see a lowrider? The answer to that question in real time was about 2.8 seconds.
It was awesome.
Because it's from Dusk Till Dawn, baby. There's got to be a lowrider in it.
Somewhere.
And I was like, it's been too long. It's been like 10 minutes. How much longer? Boom,
do we have to wait?
Is. Yeah, there it is.
And then you were like, hey, how long do you think...
It's a pretty dope lowrider Lincoln Continental. As a guy who doesn't know shit about cars, I hope at least one of you appreciates the time that I take to see what cars are and things.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, they probably don't. But it is a lowrider Lincoln Continental, pretty slick looking bride.
It was pretty slick. And then you were like, hey, how long do you think we see Danny Trejo? And I was like, well, he's in this, so we'll see him soon.
I didn't know because I didn't even look at the cast. Well, I thought it was weird. It's like, because if you do look at the cast for this, it says Quentin Tarantino, but he's not in it.
Yeah, I doubt he's in this.
Yeah, no, he's certainly not credited for a character title, but he does have an executive producer credit because this is a spinoff of his original.
Yeah,
his original film.
Him and Robert Rodriguez, they're credited as executive producers.
I'm loving it.
So we've got our group of heistmen. They're being chased by the
the police. By old Jim Bob, he's like, I tell you what, that sumbitch, he's a criminal.
That was Bo Hopkins.
Bo Hopkins.
Plays Sheriff Otis Lawson. Lawson.
Yeah. Lawson.
He's the son of the law.
Tell you what.
You know what I'm saying?
I do. I know exactly what you're saying.
I've been saying it all along.
He's part of the law, son. Oh, man. So, fuck.
Love it.
It was a sad shot, wasn't it? Yeah, so he's after him, and he goes and he busts in, and he's like, listen here, you son of a bitch, Robert Patrick, Robert Patrick, you piece of shit, you better start talking. And Robert Patrick's like, fuck, I don't know, man. Robert Patrick is, if you've been catching up with Peacemaker, that's the guy that plays Chris Smith's father, the White Dragon, white supremacist comic book character, played by Robert Patrick in Peacemaker. He's great.
I still need to start that, by the way.
You'll if you watch the Suicide Squad movie, the following day you'll be like, okay, yeah, I'm in.
The new Suicide Squad?
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dude, so fun. Maybe we'll watch that when we get out of here.
Yeah. I want to give it a serious watch, not a drunk watch.
Yeah, well, it's a good have a couple beers watch because it's very funny.
Well, I've already had a couple beers.
No, I'm not saying tonight. I'm saying when you watch it, have a couple beers.
So this Luther character, he's gonna meet up with the crew at this hotel in Mexico.
Yeah,
and Luther, this bit fucking cracked me up, dude. Luther hits a bat. And the bat just fucked up his car for some reason.
Hard, man.
Caused his car to break down.
No, yeah. He hits a bat, and I guess the bat weighed like 8 pounds. Because it just it fastballs right into his fucking radiator and just fucks his shit up hard. So he's like, oh, son of a bitch. And the bat's like all weird looking stuff. So he shoots it.
Yeah.
And then he just starts walking. He gets to the fucking bar, the bar from the first movie.
Yep.
And he's like,
twister.
He's like, hey, I'm here at the titty twister, twisting titties, tisting twitties.
Test these twitties.
Just testing twitties. And he's like, hey, Danny Trejo, give me some tequila. Danny Trejo gives him tequila.
It's got a worm in it.
And he's like, this tequila's nasty. Give me some whiskey. And then he's like, hey, you need a ride? And he's like, I'd love one. So they go on a ride, and they go back to his Jeep, and he's like, you shot a bat, huh, motherfucker? And he sees the bat, and it's just his buddy, Danny Trejo's buddy, who's a vampire, because Danny Trejo's a vampire. And they're like, yeah, you son of a bitch. And then they turn him into a vampire. So now Dwayne Whitaker's a vampire.
And then you never see Danny Trejo again.
Nope. Not in the rest of the movie.
I was like, he's going to be in it for a while, right?
Nope.
Nah.
2 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Maybe 4. Maybe 4.
I was going to say maybe 5. Yeah. I was kind of hoping to see him a little bit more.
Yeah. Pretty good stuff.
If you're going to get Danny Trejo,
you get Danny Trejo.
Get Danny Trejo, baby.
I'd like to, it would be cool to, have Danny Trejo just in, a serious role film about, I don't know, an older guy who's, finds out he's got cancer, but he loves motorcycles. He goes on, a long motorcycle ride to think about, the human condition. You know what I mean? To have him in a serious role.
Yeah.
That could be good.
That could be a good movie.
Get Denis Villeneuve. Yeah. Or the guy that did Another Round. You know what I mean? Just a film about the human condition.
Yeah. I'm sure Danny Trejo could...
I bet Danny Trejo's got chops.
He could play that part.
Yeah. I bet he has. After he's started making money at acting, he's probably I'll look into this. The thing that's paying for all my stuff.
Right. So back at the motel, Jesus... He hooks up with this girl he saw earlier.
Yep.
And he does some push-ups on her.
He does. He's really
by that he means
ladies, write us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com and let us know if that's what you're into, because that was not ever my impression.
And by that we mean he bounces on her.
Yeah.
Just it's such a weird sex scene.
Seems like really what he's trying to do is to break the board at the bottom of the bed frame. And he's not worried about the intercourse at all. He's not worried about that. He's trying to break that board with purely a pelvic thrust. This is all quads and lower back and a little bit of abdominal. That's it. Just got to keep shoulders taut.
Yeah.
Keep that form and break that board. Just hump right through it.
Break that board.
It's, it does not.
So they do their thing. She goes to the shower. And she gets attacked by a
CGI bat.
A CGI bat.
Yeah.
As one does.
Yeah.
The bat on the outside of the shower curtain.
It's eating her. Snatch callback.
The bat, though, when you first see the bat, it's on the outside of the shower curtain.
And then it's on her back scrubber while she's scrubbing her back. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then it's gone. And then it's bat.
Oh. This time I was like, man, I hope somebody at some point gets a stick and they're bat her up. And hits somebody. As a bat, never happened.
Didn't happen. They missed a really great opportunity there.
Very disappointing. They're having enough fun with this that wouldn't have been out of place.
Yeah, that could have been in this film 100.
Easily. 100.
Old Vampire Luther shows up.
Oh, yeah. And he's like...
As vampires do. He kills Vamp Chick. Luther gets him. Gets him good.
Oh, yeah, he does get him good, too.
He gets Jesus.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Now he's vamping. He's vamping. I tell you what, as far as this podcast is concerned, lately it seems like vampires are just good for lightening the mood. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of bad stuff out there, but when you pepper in a vampire, all of a sudden it's a little more delightful.
Just fun.
Maybe I'll start gearing it towards stuff where there's like just one weird supernatural element. Like there's like a swamp thing or a whatever, you know what I mean?
Right. I dig it.
You down with that?
I mean, I like a good monster.
What's one of your favorite bad monsters?
Favorite bad monsters?
Yeah, mine is mine's the stuff, Harryhausen's his last name, I think. But it's the guy that did like Clash of the Titans, like the claymation, stop motion animation monsters in that. I fucking love that stuff. Modern day, probably Shin Godzilla.
Oh.
Because have you seen the difference between Godzilla and Shin Godzilla?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm sure you've seen a picture of like modern Godzilla, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show you Shin Godzilla real quick. This is like a reveal video. You guys love this shit. This is like just a box opening.
Oh, damn. That's badass.
He looks way more puppet. Like he looks more he looks less like a giant CGI monster and more like a thing that somebody actually made that they're puppeting and might have put some CGI on top of it.
Yeah.
Like these are shots from the actual film. He's got little tiny beady eyes. He has no eyelids. You know what I mean? Like there's weird shit about him, but also at the same time, he look like this guy looks like a real lizard thing.
Yeah.
So do you have a particular favorite puppet?
Not real. I can't really think of anything like off the top of my head.
All right.
Just not a lot of movies that I get into, like as far as
puppety rubber monsters.
Yeah.
I love it. I watched The Dark Crystal when I was a kid, and that's what got me roped into it, I think. It was the Skeksis, these little bird monsters that are like, and they're creepy as fuck. But that's it. I fucking just love that shit. I'm like, man, somebody made that, and there's like a person holding sticks underneath it, making it move and shit. It's just
right.
But it's so creepy and so lifelike. I love it.
Nice. All right.
Anyway, back to this fucking movie.
Let's get back on track. This shitty movie. Luther and Jesus, they get to the crew, and the job's still on for some reason. Even though half of them are vampires.
Half of them are vampires now. They don't turn the other guys into vampires. They're just like, let's get back to that bank heist. But 3 of them are vampires.
Right.
God, it's super weird, man. So they get on with the bank heist, and eventually they're like, we're going to turn you into vampires, even though we could have easily done it earlier.
But we didn't.
We're going to do it now. But now the cops have showed up, and there's tear gas and all kind of shit, and they're using crosses and Bibles and all this other stuff. And
there's a whole, you got to have your action fight scene. The sun comes up, but not for very long, because there's an eclipse that happens for 25 minutes.
Have you ever seen a solar eclipse where the sun is totally eclipsed for like an hour and a half?
Because that's what happens in this movie.
That's pretty much what goes on. Like the moon scoots in front of the moon's shadow scoots in front of the sun so quickly, and then just stops and stays right on pace with the sun for
30 minutes,
45 minutes. Yeah, it's a really long time. And it's almost like you didn't need to do the eclipse at all. No. You could have just said it's still dark.
Right.
It's still nighttime. Night.
That's it.
Yeah.
Why? I guess that's why this is a bad movie,
Yeah, it is bad. I thought it was delightful, though. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I
did have quite a bit of fun with it.
There's a whole bunch of shootout.
Oh, yeah.
Bang, bang.
We're shooting vampires.
Everybody's shooting. There's vampires. There's crosses. There's hissing, there's tear gas.
There's a vampire standoff.
There's real long scenes that are way longer than they need to be.
Yeah, this movie
as far as the action's concerned. But it was still breezy, though. What was the runtime on this?
Like hour 28.
Yeah, that's short, man.
It is, but you still could have cut off like 15 minutes
easily. Yeah, easily.
Easily.
And still had the exact same thing. It's so weird, man. Like, you're again, when it's something like this, if I'm making this, if this is my movie, and I'm like, no, let's make each of these fight scenes 6 minutes long. Don't do that. You're even recycling footage at this point. You know what I mean? Like there are shots that are in there multiple times. You need more story, bro.
There's nothing in this film that connects you to any of these characters at all.
Nope.
I don't care about any of these characters.
No.
You know what I mean?
Maybe Robert Patrick a little bit, because you see him as like this, like, kind of just a narcissistic, kind of a cocky piece of shit who's sort of trying to turn his life around, but he also just wants to get a big score because he's a criminal and it's hard to find a job when you're a criminal.
Yeah.
So maybe him a bit, but certainly nobody else.
Right. Overall, I think I did have a pretty good time with this.
Anyway, yeah, I thought the effects and the monsters are so fucking charming is what's winning me over, and the little bit of comedy that's in it. I can tell that the comedy is deliberate. Like, it's done as a wink and a nod. It's not done as
we're trying to be
like this is also a comedy. Like, it is a comedy. That's all. It's like, oh, what about a funny heist that has vampires in it? You know what I mean? Like, it's not taking the horror element first.
It's not billed as a comedy though.
It's not?
No.
What's it billed as?
Crime horror thriller.
Crime horror thriller on Google, on Goggle?
On IMDb. That's
horror
the thing,
horror action on Google.
Yeah.
Neither of those are comedy. I would say this is way more comedy forward though.
It is, but I'm trying to I'm wondering if they meant for it to be.
I think it's deliberate. Like, I think the humor that's in this is on purpose.
I don't know. I feel like to me they're pushing a little much.
Well, tell me this: how many because pythons, everybody knows that pythons are indigenous to Mexico. How many python thumbs? Don't even look at that. Don't even worry about that. Just imagine it went in when I threw it. How many python thumbs you give me for this? That's a bad movie.
If I had 10 thumbs.
10, and they're all pythons that are crawling through a cow skull.
And on top of that skull is also a tarantula.
Yep.
Damn, that's fucking sick, dude.
This fucking would make a dope tattoo. Write us at it's just2movies@gmail.com. I know you're out there. I know you have that tattoo. Write me. Dude, send me a picture of it. I bet it looks fucking sick.
All right. I'm going to go 6.5 on this.
6.5, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was whatever, I guess. I did have a pretty good time with it, but I was also like, ugh. Halfway through the movie, I was like, this is almost over, I think. But then it wasn't.
Oh yeah, gotta not check for bad movies. It's like the last nail in the coffin, man. When you're checking the runtime on a bad movie,
even though it's an hour and 28,
just write it out. It's an hour and 28, super breezy. But you're right. You could easily take 15 minutes off of this, and you would have been right when you were like, "Is this almost over?" Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And it should be.
Yeah, it's got 35 minutes. Okay, great.
That last sequence was just way too fucking long.
Oh my god, dude. Forever, bro.
Yeah.
The eclipse bit?
Yeah.
That's 15 minutes of the fucking movie.
If not 20.
And you could have cut all of it.
Maybe I don't know, man.
Literally every bit of it. You could have just lost the eclipse bit and been like, speed this gunfight up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them just shooting guns and snarling, like making gremlin noises.
Yeah. I would have easily given it a 8 if it just needed something else to bridge that gap of like, hey, we're trying real fucking hard here to make a complete movie that's an hour and a half long.
Right.
Bear with us here.
You just needed some more script, man. You needed more story that wasn't like when you're like, oh man, we're already at the end. Then go back to the first bit and rewrite some of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like do something else to fill it out that actually is something. Right. Because the initial guys, the 4 guys that are in the heist, we don't know dick about them.
Nothing.
We know one of them's a criminal, so he should know the other criminal. Guess what he does? And then he goes to fucking Tuco's place and he's like, give him a fucking dog steroids, bro. So that's all we know about him is that he gives his dog steroids. And then the other guy, we just know he had to tell his wife they were going on a fishing trip.
So the only other thing we know about him is he was a security guard.
Right.
He showed up at his work and he was like, hey, we're doing this heist.
It's a weird name, security. It's a little joke about a name badge. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, just... What would you give it? What are you going to give it?
You know what, man? I'm going to give it an 8 because
Woo.
I had a lot of fun with
like
this.
Shit in here.
Like bullshit. No, I had a ton of fun with this. I just like, man, the heist is fucking stupid. Like the reason that the heist is dumb.
And you're going to give it an 8?
I'm going to give it an 8 for the fucking comedy and the hilarious like all the shit with the bats was cracking me the fuck up.
It was pretty
funny.
I'm
serious. You could take this movie and cut a trailer for The Batman. And all you would have to use would be one shot from The Batman that shows him in the rain at the end. Mm-hmm. And nobody would know. It would just be like... You could use like clips from the bats and the all the fighting and the gunshots and stuff that are in it. Like you could just cut a really fun trailer from it. But at the same time, the movie that I watched, it has some kind of jarring stuff that I'm not crazy about, and it just runs long. If this was like more full or a little shorter runtime, this would get me pretty fucking close to a 10 for a bad movie. Because there's a lot of really entertaining shit to play with here.
Yeah, I guess so. I just didn't do it for me.
Well, that's okay. Obviously, you didn't do it for tons of people. So you're not alone.
Right.
It's hashtag valid. You know what I'm saying? Yes. All right, man. So that's weird. We did that.
That's the pig.
We did that part.
That's the pig.
That's the whole pig. The pig and nothing but the pig.
The pig in the blanket.
So help me gob. Next part.
Do it.
Hey, what you watching?
What you been watching, bro?
I'll tell you what.
You been watching a fuck movie? So they call it when they're all watching that porno together. They call it a fuck film.
Fuck film.
Yeah. When I'm watching a fuck film, I want to see fucking.
It's got to have some story to it, just like this movie should.
One time I fucked a gal that worked in a fuck film.
Yeah.
I fucked a. She was a librarian. Another librarian. There was another one. And there was a book, and that was I fucked her. The guy's like, "Wow, great story."
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you been?
Man, what have I been up to?
Why are we doing that pig fucking thing? Is that a running joke? We're keeping it like
I
just
don't
keep
know.
fucking the pig. We'll just keep doing. What kind of pigs you been fucking? Teacup?
So,
Potbelly?
started a new video game called Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
My God, me too.
Oh. Did you actually start it?
Soup's weird. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I played for like 2 or 3 hours.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was real. I was playing it and I'm like, oh man, this is okay. I get it. Okay, it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, I get it. It's pretty cool. And then at a certain point, I was like, how many more fucking epic, awesome, amazing things am I going to get? A lot is the answer to my question. You're going to get a lot of cool fucking tools to play the game with.
Yeah.
Which I like. Yeah.
The combat keeps getting better.
Give me more ways to interact with it. Yeah. Pretty impressed with it so far. Granted,
really
I
fun.
did only play for like 3 hours and I'm looking forward to a deep dive on it, but I wanted to do some catch up on Diablo 3. So I also played Diablo 3 for a night. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Start a new character. I'm doing an Amazon.
Amorzin?
I'm doing an Amorzin. Amorzin. Javelin shield class, you know.
So I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld randomly.
Okay.
Yeah.
My parents would love that.
Did you ever, right? Did you ever get into Seinfeld?
Yes,
or no,
of course.
You did?
Yeah, we watched Seinfeld every night while we ate dinner at my house when I grew up.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that it's kind of divisive. Like you either, I don't know, maybe not you either love Seinfeld?
Look, if you
or hate
appreciate,
it, or are you somewhere in the middle?
If you can appreciate the art of sitcom television, you can't hate Seinfeld because it did so many amazing things for sitcom television arcs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is a game changer.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
at the time.
it really was at the time. Love it or hate it, modern day, I think a lot of the comedy holds up because some of it's timeless. Like the fact where George doesn't want to go out of the house and, you know, like all these other random fucking just situational comedic tones that happen through the show.
I think as far as
and the one where Kramer's a turkey and he's like, "Hey, buddy."
I think as far as Seinfeld, his comedy to me is very dry.
Oh yeah,
some of it is pretty funny.
His stand up, you mean?
I think it's the delivery. I think because you know, you watch it 20 years later or however many years later, and you think about the delivery. A different comedian could probably make it funnier.
He's a dry comic for sure.
Yeah. He is for sure. But some of it, you're like, oh, that's good observational comedy. Right.
Yeah, some of it really is good, and some of it's very mundane. But you know what I mean. It was a different period back then. Like the shit about it that's mundane now wasn't mundane then. Mm-hmm. Not like that makes a difference. That's kind of what makes things that age well and things that don't.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Snatch, for instance. The movie's 22 years old.
Yeah.
Had a great time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't expect to, but I totally did.
Yeah.
I'm glad you picked it. I really am.
Nice.
Because the other movies that you had in the pool, they were also. I was also like, oh man, I would be super excited to do that as well.
Right.
And you picked Snatch, and I was like, okay, we'll see.
Oh, but then, what if I don't like it? I'm always waiting for we're gonna do an episode one day, and you're gonna be like, no, I fucking hated it.
Well.
We almost did one. Malignant, not in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But knowing that about you makes it less likely that I'll pick another one that's not in your wheelhouse. I'll get close, though.
I think you will.
I will get close because I'm like, come to the dark side, Birdman, where it's like weird dick jokes.
So other than that, I started reading a book called Ghostwritten by David Mitchell.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if you're familiar with that name.
I have heard the name David Mitchell. What else has he written?
So he wrote Cloud Atlas.
Okay, that's obviously where I know the name from.
Yeah. So far, this is a really good book. It takes place mostly in East Asia, but it's kind of from the perspective. Well, I mean, it is from the perspective of 9 different people, and their stories kind of intertwine.
Mm. Okay.
So
like a Snatch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like we mean 2000s slang for vagina, not the movie that we just watched.
But yeah, really great book so far. I think that's about it as far as media goes. What about you?
Well, I caught up on the season finale of the Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, hell yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I also did that.
I don't want to give out any spoilers for it.
I feel like,
are they going to do another season?
They are.
Yes.
It has been renewed for a 3rd season, but I agree. I don't think we should really get into it because...
Yeah, maybe one day we'll do like bonus content where like you and I, over the course of a month, will review... We'll go back and do like season 1, season 2, season 3, and do it in like a 30 or 40 minute chunk.
Yeah.
Would you guys like that? Like a supplemental episode? Like, let's say I were to release a shorter episode about 40 minutes long on Thursdays. Would that be something you're into? If that would be a thing you're into, please write me at itsjustamovies@gmail.com. I genuinely really would like to know if you have any input on how to best do some supplemental content.
Yeah.
Even if it is much shorter form, but to still release it under It's Just Two Movies, so it would still come out during your regular feed. Anyway, just something I was kicking around.
Yeah, and I could talk about how I think season 1 was better than season 2.
I would talk about how I agree with you. But
overall, I don't want to give anything out though, I think I loved season 2. I thought it was good, but I think with the way
Season 1's funnier.
It's funnier, and the way they set it up just worked so much better. And it had these hooks, and it had these surprises that you're like, oh, shit.
It kind of went from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia to Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of make that handbrake turn, which is fine as long as they get back into It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia territory.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they bring it back to being a comedy, doesn't really matter what else happens. I would watch 10 seasons of these guys just fucking doing church sermons and having dinner at that restaurant that they love so much. I would watch 10 seasons of that.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh, it's Uncle Baby Billy. It's Uncle Baby Billy by a fucking Texas Mile, baby. Or Judy. I really like Judy. She's got some of the best fucking hooks in the whole series.
She does. I think my favorite character is Keith. Man,
he does make me smile every time he's on screen because I'm like, look at this fucking guy.
He's so awkward. And he has found his way into this religious family, but he used to be a follower of the devil, and he still has a gigantic 666 tattooed on his chest and Hail Satan.
Dude, speaking of 666, are you stoked to watch Studio 666?
The movie about the Foo Fighters. Dude, I'm excited, man. It looks really fun.
I think we're going to go watch it next weekend.
Yeah?
Now, as you guys are listening to this, we recorded this 4 weeks prior to it actually releasing. So, it's out like this week.
Yeah, I want to see it. And so, like, Carrie's a huge Foo Fighters fan. I mean, I like them as well. I think a lot of the music's great.
Yeah.
We've seen them a couple times. Dave Grohl's awesome. I'm really excited about this movie. I watched the trailer and I was like,
he's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's playing the devil again, probably.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much.
Have you ever seen Dave Grohl as the devil in Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny? When he's just playing those mad quads, he's like, I'm the devil, I love metal. Wow.
I remember that movie came out, my stepdad bought the DVD and he's like, I don't want this. Just give it to me. Because it's a goofy, we should do.
And you're like, jackpot, baby. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of stuff for like supplemental episodes.
Yeah.
Like, is it good enough to do as a good movie? With the right the right guest, yes.
We could do that for summer break, I think. The Pick of Destiny.
And what would you pair it with?
I don't fucking know.
Doesn't fucking matter, I suppose. Yeah, you're probably right. What would you write us at? It's just gmail.com. What's a good pairing for the Pick of Destiny? And like other stuff I've been getting into. What else have I been getting into? I've been getting into some shit, boy.
Oh, I just started watching.
I've been watching Pam and Tommy. I'm actually there's a new episode out this week. And there's I'll get there. And there's the finale comes out on Tuesday, so I'm just waiting, and I'm gonna watch the 2 last episodes together. It is
Pamela Anderson
and Tommy Lee. Yeah. It's that whole. It is the reason that the internet porn industry exists.
Right. Yeah, because of those two.
And it's amazing. It's so good. It's so funny.
Damn.
It's got intrigue, and I lived through it. Like, I remember it. I'm like, yeah I remember that. And I was talking to Alicia. She's like, did you ever see it? The tape? And I was like, yeah, like 4 or 5 times. My buddy's older brother had it. You know what I mean?
See, I mean.
Just to make sure, just to check it for authenticity.
There's a show I want to check out called Severance.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's an Apple TV series.
Okay.
It stars Adam Scott.
I wanted to watch. Have you watched The Psychiatrist Next Door with Will Ferrell and?
No, I haven't.
I was wanting to watch that. I'm like, I bet that's good. I bet
I'm intrigued.
that seems very like Everything Must Go Will Ferrell.
I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah,
but Severance has a really cool idea where these people have their memories surgically divided between their home life and their work life.
Yeah, you sent me a trailer for this. I was like, that looks fucking cool, man.
Right? It's by Ben Stiller. So he's the
Okay, yeah, I'm in. Ben Stiller actually is like he's got some chops as far as like direction goes.
He directed a lot of it, and then I just really like Adam Scott, and it also has John Turturro. It's got Christopher Walken's in it a little bit.
Yeah, two of the hottest guys
ever.
John Turturro and Christopher Walken.
I mean, come on.
What a smoke show. Am I right?
Get the fuck out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, right? It says just gmail.com.
Every time. Oh man, so you guys got a new car, right?
Yeah, we got a new whip.
You want to
break it in with wieners and buttholes? With cum?
That's too much.
Like hot throbbing cock?
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that phone call! We're a one-eyed Batman!
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Cousin, businesses are booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
This might be a thing you may have actually heard me say 100 times before, but did you know that the correct plural of octopus
yes, you've said
is octopuses?
So
it fucking blows my mind, dude. I was told by science teachers
that it was octopi.
I didn't just make that up.